Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Garage Vlogs. I actually have a 2007 Denali in here. As you can tell by the title of the video, this is going to be how you do an Airride conversion. Basically, you take the stock Airride off of a factory GM Denali or Escalade. Some Suburbans and Tahoes have it as well if they have that package. Over time, the bags, they're not best quality, so they blow out. And the cheapest way to actually replace these is to go with a conventional style strut and shock. Now, I've already done the rear and I've already done this side right here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up over there on the driver's side, which is the last side that I got left to do, and then I'm going to show you on the rear what it is that I have done. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and just learn something today. Alright you guys, like I said, I'm going to show you on the driver's side, which is the last side that I have to do, of what we're going to do. So let me give you a rough breakdown of how I'm going to go about doing this, and I'm going to set you up on a tripod and we're going to get this done. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to get all the brakes set up off of this thing and unbolt the actual axle. Then we're going to unbolt the axle from the center, and we're going to pull the axle after we get the upper ball joint off. So we need to go through and get these lines all disconnected, get the brake caliper off, get the bracket off, the pads off, rotor off, unbolt the actual axle itself. Alright, then we're going to beat this down and I'll allow this to come forward, which will get the axle out. After we do that, we're going to unbolt this strut housing right here. This is an Airride strut housing. Alright, well, it's got a little bit of a bag on the inside of here, which is what allows it to do its thing. It's basically like a giant air shock with a spring around it, is all it really is for the front. The rear is actual air, like air shocks with helper springs. So once we do this, then we're going to do lower control arm, upper control arm, new strut, and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up and record with you guys. Alright you guys, stopping in the middle of what I'm doing to show you what's going on so far. So lower control arm is on. Went ahead and put the linkage back on for the sway bar to hold that lower control arm up. Got the CV axle put back into the hub. That's bolted back together. Now before I put the actual strut assembly in, I have to put the upper control arm in because the bolts slide in through the inside. But I had to get a new camber kit because I don't know if you can see over there, but the bolt snapped in half because it's way too rusted. So we got a new camber kit right here, all Moog. Moog is the best thing to use on any vehicle. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up what I'm doing right here and bring you back. So like I said, the way this works, you guys, is you got this camber kit right here. Right? These are shaped like this and have a notch in them because the bolt itself has an edge cut off. Now, the reason why that's why that is, if you see this right here, is an adjustment so that you can adjust the caster and the camber of the vehicle. You know, your camber is adjusted by both arms coming out equally. Caster is affected by one side or the other coming out or in on another direction. So I'm going to go ahead and get this slid in with the new arms, and then I'll bring it back. Alright, got the new upper control arms in. I haven't bolted everything all the way down yet because I needed to get the new strut in. So now that the new strut is in, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten up the strut bolts at the top, the control arms for the camber kit. Those are already tight, but I have not tightened up the ball joint on the bottom. Well, the bottom one is, but right here on the top one isn't tightened all the way up. Actually, neither one of them are tightened all the way up. So I'm going to tighten those up and then get the strut bolted back in. Once I get that done, I'm going to put the brakes back together, and I'm going to show you how it is we rewire this signal for the actual Airride itself to kind of trick the computer to think that it still has it on there. So as soon as I get done doing all this, I don't have enough space on my phone, you guys. I gotta go buy a new micro SD that allows me to have more storage, or else I would just continuously record and record and record so that y'all can watch everything. But at least me doing this, y'all get an update what's going on and I can show you. So I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, sorry about the shakiness. I'm not using a tripod no more, I'm holding the phone. So as far as it goes into putting this little itty bitty module to trick the ECU to think that the airbag system is still here, this is it right here. It's just like a little resistor with a fuse made to it. It's got a plug in that plugs into the original socket right here. So if you look at the way that that looks right there, alright, this one looks like the same thing on the inside. Let me get a little bit, see how it looks on the inside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to plug this up to it, tie strap it up out the way, and boom, the front's done. Right, and then we'll put the tire on it, do alignment to it, make sure everything drives straight. And then on the rear, the way the rear works is you don't have plug-ins. On the rear, what you would do is it's got a resistor where you clip these two wires. It doesn't matter what side you rewire them to, but then you would butt connect it up to it, or you can heat shrink and solder, however you want to do it. The kit comes with butt connector, so you just butt connect it, tape it, and then tie strap it out of the way. And then the actual tube, the air tube that goes to the air shock in the rear, you melt it down a little bit and then close it off so it doesn't push air anymore. That way it's not just blowing air into the atmosphere. Because the thing is it's going to be tricked to think that it's always at the accurate level anyways, so it should never come on. But that's going to be it on this one right here. I'll take you in the back once I get finished right here, just to kind of show you how the rear looks and how the shocks are done. But that's basically going to be it for this video, you guys. Alright, so just a visual representation of what it is that we did on the rear. We replaced the airbag that goes back here with a regular shock. This is actually a load stabilizing shock, so it's a little bit better. Works like a construction site, so I want to give them a little thing better. Now that resistor I was telling you about, the way to wire it is this right here. It's just a tiny resistor at the other end, just to trick it to think that it's actually working still and doing what it needs to. The actual air tube itself is up here as well. If you look at it right up there, that's where I melted the tip at so it wouldn't blow any more air out of it. Now I have to do an AC check and a diag on this thing. That's not going to be a part of this video. This video is just show you guys what it is that's needed to do a conversion on this thing. On the rear it's not too bad to do, which I need to come back here and tighten these up on the bottom one more time. But it's just shocks in the rear, you guys, and a little bit of wiring. So like I said, it's not that hard to do, you guys. Anybody can do it. This is how we do it here in the shop. Easiest way of doing it here in the shop. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to tighten up that bolt and go ahead and get this thing moved out of the way so I can do another job. Remember, if you want to do this yourself, you know, this gives you an idea of what it takes to do something like this. But it also gives you an idea of how we do it at a shop, so that you know if you want to get it done yourself, you know what's involved. Like I said, you'll know what's involved in it when you want to do it yourself. But like, it's a fairly easy job to do. My face is dirty and nasty, but I'm going to go ahead and end the video off there, you guys. We did a couple other things today as well. I'm going to record things, how-tos now. Starting to get a little bit slow again, but it's still pretty busy. We got big jobs here. So I'm just going to start recording whatever I think would be interesting enough to learn to do. But like I said, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like.
It's Joey.
Off the dome, baby.
Hey, what?
I am the smartest man alive!
Play.
Hey, wait, where's the beat?
Hey, bad bitch with a dick like whipped cream. I finished the chick last night, that's a wet dream. I go risk my blunt, you need some protein. I don't mind being these bitches, I give a pipe beat. I make dollars, I don't need to make sense, so don't mind me, bitch, I'm still gonna flex.
I pulled up with the bitch team, how to take a teddies out straight with some teddies out of cream. All black, but my whip clean. I be in some traffic, don't know probably quickly. It's like a difference with the bitch. Pass a bitch a Billy, not a bitch a fiend. Hold up.
Still with a birdie, your sister just called. I hit it with the addy, now Billy glowed up. I'm fucking with the baddie, I just come through. She gon' ride me like a cat. Chillin' in the cut, said she wanna roll with me, I told her roll it up. If you got some money, motherfucker, throw it up. It's a fucking party, yeah, we all turning up. If you didn't know, motherfucker.